It comes from YouTube comments from RobKnopperStudio, who asks, "Can you do a standalone explainer video? What exactly about exactly why business cards are risky? You mentioned it, but I didn't understand fully. Thank you." Lonnie, some of the risks of business cards.
I don't feel like we can fully answer this in a short amount of time. This could be its own like section. And I actually asked my co-host that we actually take time to go back and give this the full attention that it needs per the question that's being asked. Now, for a snippet, yeah, let's have a quick snippet of a conversation here. Um, if you've, I don't know how long you've been watching our show there, Rob, but RJ and have a statement, and that's use your card as intended. Business cards are supposed to be used as business cards, not as business cards, as Matt likes to call out. So they're supposed to be used for business spend and for business purposes. Now, is there someone really going through every single line item, making sure that's happening? No, but that's what it's there for. And part of that risk could be not using card as intended and what could happen there, i.e., you don't want to have an annual fee, put a bunch of spend on a card, earn a bunch of points or miles, and then all of a sudden they're like, you broke our terms and conditions and just yank all that from you, just straight rug pull it from you. One of the other things is now it's probably not as big because I'm assuming that you don't default or pay late or anything of that nature. But when using business cards, also one of the things that I hate or fear the most is what count you pay with said business card. You're actually giving the bank permission to take money from that account. So if like you default or anything like that, they can just say, "Oh, this is your business account because this is the account you use for our business card. You owe us money," and they'll just go in there and take it. Now, if that's your personal account, you can see where that becomes a problem. So that's another one of the risks. But like I said, I'm just spitballing off the top of my head here, but there are a lot more. It's just big question, small amount of time. We actually need to give it the full amount of time that it deserves to fully answer your question. So I'm going to pause there.
So we actually did an entire episode on business cards. If you go back into our history, you can actually see we did a business card episode. Literally search in the Stack Your Points video library for business cards, and it will be there. So definitely go check out that. Like Lonnie said, this is a really big topic. But I did want to put out a snippet of a conversation to his point to draw people, and I will, if I remember, which I should, because I'll make a note to myself, I will link that video in the description of this standalone one. Um, but to Lonnie's point and to other points, like there are no protections really. There are not the same protections. If a business charges you $5,000 instead of $50, Amex is going to say, cool, go to small claims court, but also pay us our $5,000 because that is what is on your account. That is, there's no personal protections on the business side the way there are on personal cards. Not really. Now, here's the thing. There are people who are going to say, well, I called Amex and said it was fraud and they, did this, that, or whatever. And there are isolated cases where that happens, but they're under no legal obligation to do it on business cards the way they are on personal. So that is something you have to keep in mind, is there's just different rules. Now, all three of us have business cards. I do not put every single only business transactions on my business cards. I'll admit it, my Hilton business is my catch-all. I understand that. But the things I put on there, I'm putting on there knowing what I'm doing. And I think that is the biggest point with business cards is if you do it knowingly, that's one thing. But there are things that I will take the 1x MR points and put on my MX Platinum, my personal Platinum, because I want those protections or a different, or my Surpass, whatever. I will put on a personal card because I need or want those protections. So keep that in mind, that there are things you're giving up. It's not all sunshine and roses. A lot of people use them because they want to get around 524 and then realize, oh, I have $10,000 on my personal credit side, and I had to put $3,000 on a card on my personal side, and my utilization shot up and my credit score went down 70 points. And I need to go get a mortgage, and now I can't get that mortgage. Like that is a thing that I have heard like from a friend that happened, and they didn't have business cards, they just had one personal credit card. But if you do a bunch of business cards and only one personal card, like that could happen to you. That is not outside the realm of possibility. So just be careful. Again, I'm gonna link a full episode we did on business cards. Tariq went from full like suit and tie down to like the cool principal in a after school special during that episode. One of the better bits he's done, so definitely check that out. But yeah, business cards are not simply the answer to 524. Like they are more than that, and I think our community does not treat them with the respect I guess they deserve. They're sort of like venomous snakes. People can keep venomous snakes and do it well and handle them well. If I tried to do a venomous snake, I would be dead. So your mileage may vary there.
Yeah. Just to follow up, you play with those cards at your own risk. And if you are willing to take on the risks, like when I use my business cards for not so businessy things, it's things that I know I am specifically purchasing for, reason X. And I try to make sure that it's things that I do not have to go back. If I have to go back and say, hey, I didn't make this purchase, I made that purchase, and make sure that I know that my protections only go so far. Like business cards do not protect your personal liability with your card, right? You have protection from Chase, Citi, Wells, American Express, whoever with your personal cards. Somebody takes your card or you drop your card and somebody swipes it for $16,000 on a personal card, you're in the clear if you didn't make that purchase. Business card, you do not get the same level of protection. So like you can mark your business card as lost or stolen or whatever, but whatever may be charged to that card beforehand, you could be on the hook for, and you more than likely will be on the hook for. So just keep that in mind. As for like unintended, like side quests that you do with business cards, like non-business spend, just be careful of what you do with that, because if it is found that you are flagrantly afoul of whatever issuer's rules, they will shut you down relatively quickly. How likely is that to be the case? Well, again, you spend at your own risk. So if you are constantly maxing your card on, I don't know, let's say it's the Chasing Cash and you're walking into Office Depot, several Office Depots around you, because there just happen to be several Office Depots around you, and you're maxing out the card every month, they're going to have an issue. There could be an issue. Like you just have to be aware of what may or may not be happening. And if there's huge spend on your cards, the banks are entitled to see what your cash flow is looking like for your business. And if
Matt,
your
didn't you
cash flow,
have Wells Fargo asked to see some business documentation from you on your oh God, I'm forgetting the name of the Wells Fargo business card.
my Signify, yeah, they sent me a letter, and then they followed. When I called, they were like, "Oh, yeah, we sent that out in error, so don't worry about it." But that letter can cause a lot of agita if they're asking you to show how you make your money on your business. If you cannot document how you make your money on your business, and you cannot show that you have adequate cash flow on your business, they could shut it down. So just be careful. But for more, definitely check out the episode we did on business cards explicitly. We can probably do another standalone video on it, definitely, and we won't we can do another one. We'll probably start like members first and then go public. But yeah, it's always worth doing a reminder on it. Thanks, Rob Knopper Studio.